15 Things You Should Never Do in Ireland. Ireland is definitely a must when it comes to visiting Europe. It seems there really is something magical about the place, and it has nothing to do with folklores or myths. Enjoying a wonderful time is a given when visiting this country, but to make the most out of it and get to know the land and its people beyond the surface, you should know not to do these things. Number 1. Don't forget the basic rule of driving on the left. Every year tourists are involved in major, sometimes fatal, accidents, simply because they are driving on the wrong side of the road. It cannot be said often enough, drive on the left. Number 2. Never debate with cab drivers. They say all Irish taxi drivers are experts in all the relevant academic fields, and probably holds a doctorate or PhD in either political science, economics or philosophy, and even all three. As they will most likely engage in a conversation, don't argue or debate with them in any of these fields, as you may get more than an earful when they voice out their opinion. Number 3. Don't refer to Ireland as part of the British Isles. One of the most offensive things you can ever say to an Irish is mistaking that the country is part of the United Kingdom, as they have fought hard to gain their independence. Avoid using the term British Isles altogether. In addition, don't ever call an Irish man or woman British or English, as this will greatly insult them. Number 4. Don't be offended by swear words. Casual swearing is so common in the country that it's considered a flavor in the language. Swear words are thrown in there, even if there is no anger involved, so don't get offended if you hear a lot of these in conversations. Number 5. Don't complain about the weather. The weather in the country is unpredictable to say the least, but make sure that you are ready for the rain. It can ruin your sightseeing plans for the day, so best be prepared for it rather than complain about it. Always keep a coat in your bag, even when the sun is shining, as no one trusts the weather forecast. Number 6. Don't say you're Irish through and through. Don't ever say that you're pure Irish, even if all your ancestors were born in Ireland, if you were born and living in another country. Even the Irish won't lay claim to that themselves. If you get asked about your Irish ancestry, open up and they will appreciate you visiting the homeland of your ancestors. But don't throw this information around, as they have grown tired of it. Number 7. Don't greet anyone using top of the morning. The Irish are very friendly and welcoming, but don't make the mistake of saying top of the morning to them if you don't want to ruin their morning, or at least appear irritating. This is a phrase coined in the movies that has been stuck to people's heads as common in the country. It's not a very big deal, but again, not the best way to greet someone. Number 8. Don't visit the Blarney Stone. The Blarney Stone is a tourist attraction located on top of an Irish castle, which is said to grant the gift of gab or eloquence to the person who kisses it. It makes for a good story, but not exactly the best way to experience the country. If you're not willing to spend a bit of money, and stand in line to kiss a dirty rock, then don't visit this castle and head somewhere else. Number 9. Don't wear the wrong colors. When going out with friends to enjoy some popular spectator sport in the country, such as Gaelic football, hurling, rugby, or even football/soccer, don't be the odd man out by not knowing the colors of the team that you will be watching and supporting with your companions. Learn about these teams so you can suit up properly. Number 10. Don't order corned beef and cabbage. Since you're in Ireland and not the mainland US, don't order corned beef and cabbage to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. They don't have this, as it's not really the traditional food served on this occasion, except in the US where it was made up by the immigrants. Order some lamb and roasted potatoes instead. Number 11. Don't tip in pubs. Tipping is generally not expected in Ireland, particularly in pubs where most of them don't have waiters or waitresses. When it comes to the pubs, the tip is mainly to hand over enough money for a drink, and saying have one yourself. Number 12. Never smoke in public places. Ireland was the first country in the world to bring in a ban on smoking in workplaces, which means there is absolutely no lighting up in restaurants, bars, clubs, public buildings, taxis and any other location considered an enclosed workplace. Smoking in one of these places could also earn you an on-the-spot fine of up to €3,000. Number 13, don't make potato jokes. The Great Famine or Great Hunger, also called the Irish Potato Famine, devastated the country in 1845, when Ireland was still under British rule. It was caused by a disease that destroyed the crop for successive years, but was believed that something could have been done about it. Making a joke concerning potatoes, which is associated with the image of a poverty-stricken Ireland, will not be taken well, even if it's not the staple diet anymore. Number 14, never forget to buy your round. The Irish have a weird and funny relationship with alcohol. They use the round system, which basically means if someone buys you a drink, you're obligated to buy them one in return. This custom is taken quite seriously in Irish pubs. Number 15, never try to imitate the Irish accent. Some tourists think that when they're visiting new lands, they should try to adjust a bit to the local culture and do impressions of the locals, thinking it is funny. However, trying to imitate the Irish accent is not advised. Locals hate it when foreigners attempt to joke about their accent.